The Fed has finally capitulated. He has decided he's not going to fight the markets anymore. And what does the stock market do? It rallies to have one of the best starts of the year ever in history. The Fed has been trying to bring down inflation over the last couple of months, but with him capitulating, does it mean inflation is now out of the way and everything is going to go back to normal? Or is the stock market about to have a wake-up call? Now, this is what we're going to discuss in today's video, guys. We have a very important week ahead of us with the FOMC meeting, the non-farm payrolls, and most of the earnings now past us. What is the stock market looking forward to? And is the lack of economic news going to drive the stock market to new highs? Now, guys, we have some very important levels that we need to pay attention to. And we'll be discussing the stock market from both a fundamental and a technical analysis point of view. So make sure you watch until the end. And as always, guys, if you do enjoy today's video, please give it a like. And if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We do bring out the latest stock market analysis outlook every single Monday morning. Now, guys, last week the Fed mentioned that the economy is still very, very strong, and he's pushed back. He hasn't pushed back on the stock market rallying, as it did since the beginning of the year, which gave the green light for the rally to continue, which is exactly what happened last week. Now, why has the Fed done that? Now, he knows, guys, he knows the economy is very, very strong, and he knows that inflation is sticky and coming back. And because of that, he knows he will have to raise interest rates to its target of 5 to 5.5% and stay there for a while until inflation goes back down. And the only reason he will ever consider pushing back on his statement is if the economy goes into a recession, which it doesn't look like it's the case as of yet, guys. And if the US economy is not going into a recession, he's going to keep raising interest rates, and he's going to stop trying to prove to anyone that he's going to do that. He's just going to do it, and that's it. If the market wants to accept it, that's his business, okay? If it's not, then he will have to deal with it. And dealing with high interest rates, well, how do you deal with that? By going down. You can't keep going higher, guys, on high interest rates. And as we know, because the economy is strong, he is not going to even think about cutting or pausing until the job is done, until he brings inflation down to 2%. So we know that if the market wants to accept that, that's his business. Otherwise, he can do whatever he wants. But when he wakes up to reality, he realizes that, listen, we rallied way too much and we need to go back and perhaps retest the low. So, guys, this is one of the biggest risks that the stock market is facing in 2023. Now, guys, in terms of what we should be looking out for the week ahead, in terms of economic news, guys, we don't have a lot going on this week, which gives us green light to focus on the technicals. The only thing that we have going on this week from a fundamental point of view is the on Tuesday we have the Fed Jerome Powell speaking at 5:40 UK time. So pay attention to that. He may not say a lot of things, but just in case, there may be some volatility around this. Apart from that, guys, there's nothing else to focus on this week. Now, in terms of the technical analysis, let's start off by looking at the S&P 500. And guys, we completely and 100% smashed the call that we made on this last week. We did say that if Jerome Powell will come in and not say anything hawkish, the stock market will see that as a positive to carry on going higher, and that's exactly what happened. And we were targeting for this liquidity here to be taken out, which is exactly what happened. So last week, in last week's video, we said that the stock market is going to rally, to where? To clear this liquidity that is resting above the daily chart and go into our 4-hour IC, which is exactly what happened. And guys, we had a nice shorting, a nice short from here last week, and the people in the community and
perhaps you guys that watched last week's video took advantage of that, and if you did, well done to you. Okay, we complete and 100% smashed that goal. Now, what is it in next for the S&P 500? Now guys, as we mentioned before, from a fundamental point of view, there's a lot of downside potential here. From a technical point of view, this chart looks very, very bullish here. So don't try to fight either the fundamentals and the technicals. Keep the fundamentals on the back of your head, but trade what's in front of you. Now, from a technical point of view, as I mentioned, this looks very, very bullish. So what should we be expecting for going forward? We did have a nice reaction, as I previously mentioned, out of this 4-hour IC. Now, guys, we've opened here with a gap on the 1-hour chart. Okay, we've opened here with a gap. That's exactly what happened. Okay, if I can go back to last week. Okay, where is last week? Just lost it. I'm losing it. There you go. Here. We've opened here with a gap. We filled the gap straight away. We went lower, cleared the liquidity from around here, below here, and then rallied to new highs. Now, this is also a possibility. Now, bear in mind, guys, we haven't filled this gap here. So the market can go up higher and try to fill this gap at least before trying to decide to go lower. Now, in terms of where do we see the market going? If it wants to go lower, guys, pay attention to this 1-hour IC here. We have the 1-hour IC here resting at around 40.57 or so. And that's exactly where the lower expected move is for the week. So if we come in here, you know, from a technical analysis point of view, this will be a nice, perfect long opportunity as long as we are able to hold this 1-hour IC. If we are not able to hold that, guys, then we are going to retest this trend line here. And guys, what I'm looking for in here is whether we are able to either hold this daily IC and the hourly IC, and if we are not able to hold that and we're going back with, below the 20 and the 50 EMA, then we'll be going all the way to this daily IC sitting at around 3,930 or so. Okay, that will be the first target of those shorts that we have in there, guys. Okay, so pay attention to that. And if we are to go higher, guys, as we mentioned in last week's video, where do we see us going? If we do go higher, if the stock market does decide it wants to go higher this week, pay attention to this. We talked about it last week. We have this gap here that has not been filled. And we have this daily IC here, guys. Okay, which if it does go up, you know, this week or in the next couple of weeks by the end of February, guys, this will coincide well with the upper expected move for the month of February. So this will be a very, very critical point to go short at, because if we don't stop here, then we can run into all-time highs. Again, that's if we do make it there this week. Okay, if we do go lower, then pay attention to those and target this here, the daily IC, as a first take profit. Okay. And that coincides well with the lower expected move for the month of February, and we'll revisit that as the stock market, as the price shows us what he wants to do next. Next, guys, we get the UK 100, and guys, we've rallied here to new highs. We've managed to have a new high, a new closing all-time high. Okay, because back in when we were here last, we never closed up here. Okay, so this is quite crucial for the UK 100. Okay, so we went up higher, but we never managed to close up here. Now we do have liquidity resting above this level here, guys, at 7,913 or so, above this level. So I wouldn't be surprised for the markets to go up and try to clear the liquidity. However, guys, as we mentioned last week, this daily IC here has held perfectly. And if we go back to the weekly, okay, we've had previous resistance turn into support, and that was perfect. That was a perfect trade here. If you managed to buy right here, well done to you.
Now this chart looks very bullish, guys, so don't try to go, go against it and try to short here, because it can be very dangerous. Where do we want to short? If we manage to go below this daily IC, if we manage to close below the daily IC, guys, then we can look to short, perhaps as a first take profit target to this daily IC here, sitting at around 7488 or so. And here we just have to see, right, whether we want to go lower, okay, to this daily IC here we discussed previously at 7160, or we consolidate here and then go and clear the liquidity if we haven't done so already. So pay attention to those levels, guys, those levels. Next we get the DAX here. Now just go back to the weekly here. So we've mentioned last week how we've had previous support turning into resistance, and we were at a critical level. Now we've had two dojis, 2 weeks closing in as dojis, and then we had decision made when we managed to go above. So now we can say that this previous support turning into resistance is not valid anymore. Now what do we target here, guys? Now if we want to go higher, I will look for some consolidation in this daily IC here, sitting at around 15,800 or so. Okay, this will be a target where we may want to go short up. Okay, now if we do want to go lower before we get there, then what I'm looking to see whether we go back and clear this liquidity resting below this level here. If we manage to have a daily close below this level, guys, okay, then I can see us having more downside potential at that point. Until then, guys, trade as you see it, okay? And this looks very bullish. Where are we now? We are in this hourly IC here. Let's see if this wants to hold and perhaps go higher. Now what we do have, we did have this morning, which was a nice trade. We had this nice head and shoulders that has played out perfectly, or is playing out perfectly as we speak. So if you did catch that this morning, well done to you. That was a very nice trade. Now guys, as I mentioned, see if we have some reaction out of this hourly IC here, and if we do want to go lower, okay, then we can go in and clear the liquidity that is resting below this level. Then we have to see whether we want to go lower, and we're going back to that VPIC that we discussed. Next, guys, we get the US 30, the Dow Jones, guys, and from a weekly perspective here, we haven't done much. We finished the week as a doji, and we managed to hold those 20 and 50 EMA on the weekly here. So this looks still very bullish as it stands, okay? And the only time we're looking to go full bearish on this is if we manage to, as we discussed previously, close below the 20 and the 50 EMA on the weekly here, guys. Now going back to a 4-hour time frame, this narrowing channel is getting even more narrowed as we speak, guys. Okay, so what we're looking for a break above or below those levels. Now if we do break above, guys, what do we target? We will be targeting, okay, this here. We will be targeting this daily IC in here, guys, okay, because we've managed to have a reaction out of this daily IC there. So the next point of interest for us will be this daily IC in here, guys. So monitor that, and I think there's will be just an 8-hour IC sitting right above here as well. So if we do want to go higher and break out of that narrowing channel, then this will be our target, okay, for the rally. But if we do manage to break lower, guys, then watch out, because if we do break lower, we're looking for the lightning bolt. If we break, we come back and retest, and then perhaps go lower. Where do we want to see price go to? We've been talking about this daily IC here, sitting at around 32,122, and if we do manage to break below this level, guys, then it's no really, we don't have any sort of supporting ICs anywhere, unless we go back all the way down here to 30,500
500 or so. So very important. If we don't hold those two levels here, then we are going a lot lower. So watch out for that, guys. It's going to be very interesting. Next, guys, we get the NASDAQ, the US 100, and guys, here we smash this. Okay, we discussed that if the price wants to go higher, where does it want to go to this daily IC here, and perhaps to what? Clear the liquidity that is resting above here, and that's exactly what it did. Just about clear the liquidity and then had a nice pullback. Guys, 100% spot on this, and well done if you did catch this trade. Now, what do we expect next on here, guys? And it's very important. And we do have, I put up a very short video on the NASDAQ, on the analysis of the NASDAQ, and I posted that last week. So if you haven't watched that, it's very short. It's about a minute or so, and it's discussing whether we may see a new low in 2023. Okay, guys, some very interesting analysis there, looking at this here. And predicting whether we may see a new low here. If you haven't watched that, go on to our YouTube page and watch that. It's a very interesting video, guys. Now, what I'm looking for in here, guys, is this 4-hour trend line here. Last week we introduced this trend line to you, and we said that the price wants to come and test the trend line and the 50 EMA here. It may be a nice long opportunity, and that's exactly what happened. This held here with the 50 EMA acting as support here as well, together with the trend line, and then we went all the way higher to clear the liquidity. That has played out perfectly, guys. Now next, what we're looking for this IP perhaps to be filled, and for price to come into this 4-hour IC, where we'll have this trend line here as support as well. If we manage to break below here, guys, it's going to be very important. We manage to break below the 4-hour IC here and the trend line, then we'll be looking at the trend line, at the retest of the trend line to act as resistance, also together with the 20 and the 50 EMA here, to perhaps go all the way down, clear the liquidity that is resting below here, and liquidity that is resting below here as well, and perhaps as an ultimate target of here, this 4-hour IC is sitting at around 10,800 or so. So a lot of potential, downside potential for this, for the NASDAQ, if we do break this trend line. Okay, but as long as we're able to hold this and the 4-hour IC, then we can certainly go a lot higher. Where can we go to next? Perhaps this daily IC, even though we retested this. Okay, so that's all gone now. The next IC here, so fill this gap here and into this daily IC, sitting at around 13,500 or so. So if we do manage to break higher here, guys, watch out. Okay, watch out for this level up here. Next, guys, we get the VIX, and the VIX is still very low. So what does it tell us? Okay, it tells us that it rallied quite a lot. Okay, and the VIX is still very cheap. Now we did open up with a gap as we did last week. So last week we opened up with a gap, and the whole week we went lower trying to fill this gap. Are we going to do the same here, or are we going higher? Now, one thing to watch out for, guys, see if we are able to have some supporting green candles here. Are we going to go higher and have some continuation? Okay, so are we able to go above the 20 and the 50 and hold there? Okay, or is it just, does it want to just break below again and go to new lows? Okay, very important. If we do have some supporting, some continuation of this rally on the VIX here, it may put more pressure on the stock market. And what else puts pressure on the stock market, guys, is the DXY. And guys, well done to you. We 100% smashed this. We discussed it in the last couple of weeks. We said that the ultimate target for the DXY in terms of the downside potential is this daily IC. Clear the liquidity below here and come into this daily IC. And guys, that's exactly what happened. As we reached this daily IC, we had a massive pump from here, where trying to retest the trend line, and we broke. That's very important, guys. Now, it's very important whether to
we are going to hold this or whether we're going to go through it. Because if we're going to go through it and close above here, guys, then we can certainly go all the way up here back to 110, our target of 109,500, 110 or so. Yeah, very, very important, guys. Monitor this. If we are able, if this holds as resistance here together with the 50 EMA, okay, then we may see new lows, which will bode well with new highs for the stock market. But as it stands, guys, the DXY looks very bullish. It had a lot of downside pressure, and now it looks like it's ready to rally. So pay attention to that, okay? Be very, very careful here. Next, guys, and can I just say congratulations to those that have trusted our analysis. Now, we discussed for so long here on the channel about this daily IC and how we were looking to short from this daily IC. Now, that's exactly what happened, guys. We did. Price came perfectly into the daily IC and had a nice pullback down to our first target of this daily IC here. Now, guys, if the dollar decides to keep going higher, it may put more pressure on gold here. So pay attention to that. Let's see if this daily IC wants to hold here together with the 50 EMA. If it doesn't want to hold, guys, okay, we may look at that as being resistance, the 20 and the 50 acting as resistance, and we may have more downside potential for gold. Where are we targeting? Well, the first target will be here, sitting at around 1812. However, my ultimate target, guys, for this will be 1750. Will be this level around here. If we manage to go here and consolidate, then we may look to for some long opportunities where all the way up here into this 4-hour IC here. And if we don't manage to hold these, guys, then we go all the way down here. Okay, there's plenty of liquidity sitting around here now. This is not my base case as of now, but we need to wait and see. Okay, first of all, let's see if this daily IC holds or not. Next we got JPYUSD, and I apologize, I haven't showed you this last week. I missed it, but the week prior to that, I did show you that we had this trend line here acting as support, and we're looking to see what this trend line holds. And we did say that if the dollar decides to rally, then it will most certainly break this trend, and this is exactly what happened here now. What do we expect to see next year, guys? Well, I'm expecting to have a reaction out of this 50 EMA here, and if we do have a reaction, perhaps we see something like this, and then new lows, okay, in here, all the way down to perhaps this daily IC here. So pay attention to that, and my very nice trade to have on the side there, guys. Lastly, let's talk about Bitcoin. And guys, there's a lot of talk going on about Bitcoin and about the new highs, new all-time highs for Bitcoin, which is perhaps, that can be the case. That what I wanted to show you here, guys, is that we haven't done a lot. I mean, we were right where we were all the way back in June of 2022. So if you think about it, for the last 6 months, we just gone sideways. We haven't done anything. Guys, we have a very interesting video on this crash here that we had in June last year. We have a video called "This is the reason why Bitcoin crashed," and we go into a lot of deep analysis on here. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure you go back and watch it. It's a very interesting video to just understand the fundamentals of why Bitcoin has done what it's done last year. And in terms of what we should be expecting next year, guys, if we are in a consolidation, we are working these overbought conditions, and we are working away our sell signal here. If we manage to break above this consolidation and close above, okay, we haven't managed to close above this rectangle for a long time. If we manage to hold that and close above here, then we may see Bitcoin going all the way to our daily IC of around 2930K. If we're not able to do that and we break lower, guys, then we can certainly retest those lows in here and perhaps go to our ultimate target of 12.5 or so. Watch
those levels and watch the NASDAQ. It's very correlated with the DXY, guys, with the Bitcoin, apologies, with the Bitcoin chart here. So watch that over the next couple of weeks. Now, one last thing before I finish, guys, we have earnings this week, and we have not a lot of companies, large companies reporting, but one thing I want to point your attention to is watch Walt Disney. Watch the results of Disney this week on Wednesday after the close, especially if you trade the Dow Jones, the US 30, guys. Okay, watch that very, very carefully. Now that's about it for me this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new to trading and would like to learn more about the strategies that we use, please head over to our website, mcitradingacademy.co.uk, where you can find out more about the one-to-one mentoring courses that we offer, and you can also join the Discord, the free Discord community. Thank you very much, guys, and I hope you have a great trading week.